All right, good evening, everyone, and thanks for taking your time to join us this evening. Quickly, I'll introduce myself, tell you a bit about the company, um, share a few slides with you, then invite the facilitator that will take you on the journey if you are to be joining, to shed more light into the journey as well. And finally, we take questions and answer. All right, so my name is Akin Oladeji, and I happen to be the founder of Learn with Pride. Learn with Pride is an IT organization based in the UK. We specialize in helping people that wants to transition from non-IT background or non-technical background into the IT space. So we run different practical trainings, like 8 different ones, from project management, Scrum Master, business analysis, software testing, web development, database engineer, and so on and so forth. But why we are different is because we focus on the practical aspect of things. We focus on what you need to know before you start competing with people who has been doing it in the industry for the last 2, 3 years. So we concentrate on the important things. We don't beat around the bush. And our trainings are practicals and also gives you the opportunity to work on a live project as well, which we'll talk about more in details as we go on. All right, so about myself, my background was in accounting. I transitioned as well to become a software automation engineer. So that is transitioning from non-IT background into a very technical space within 3 months as well. That is why I know anyone coming on this journey, regardless of your background, you know, what is important on this journey is your determination, is your hunger for change, your drive, your motivation. That is what you need because we give you the support, we give you the skills, we equip you with the right skills, knowledge, platform, everything will give unto you. But you just have to come ready. You have to come with that hunger and the willingness to learn. We are not saying that the road will be easy. No, nothing good comes easy. But as long as you have people who are ready to support you on the journey, that makes the journey easier for you as well. So that is a little bit about myself, transitioning from non-IT background, which is accounting, to a very technical background, which is software automation engineer. About the company, Learn with Pride, as I said, is a UK company registered in the UK, although we have students all around the world. We've been going strong for over 4 years now, and over that 4 years, over 20,000 students has passed through this academy as well. We are going to see that the start as we go on as well. So yes, so that is what we do. That is a bit about myself as well. But why software testing or why transition into tech? Why are people transitioning to tech in general? You know, you see the rush, especially after COVID, that is when most people, start getting to know about tech. And that is when also industries, companies realize that, you know what, we can actually leverage on people, whether within or outside the company. They don't necessarily have to come into work because what is required on this job is the skills and knowledge. That means they can work remotely, regardless of where they live, their country of residence. So that means you might be living in Nigeria or Ghana or Zimbabwe. You have the know-how, you have the skill, you know what is required, what it takes. You know, you can apply for jobs outside your country. Meaning you can apply for remote jobs. You know, in Canada, in Malta, in the UK. The sky is big enough. Just consider the world as big as the world is. So your knowledge is not restricted to only your home country. So after taking the course, you shouldn't be part of that category again that complains that, you know what, we don't have work. There's no work for the youth. There's no work. You should not be part of those people again. Why? Because you can leverage on other countries. You can leverage on the skills you have to apply for jobs in other countries. That is what the journey is all about. Also, it is only tech that you can find work balance, family work balance. It gives you the flexibility that you want. You know, kids, sometimes don't even know their parents or their dad. Maybe they won't see their dad for the next 3-4 days. Why? Because before they wake up, the dad is already gone. Before the dad comes out back at work, the kids are already sleeping. Maybe they get to see the dad or the mom over the weekend. That is not good enough. That is not ideal. But which other role can give you this flexibility for you to even be able to take your kids to school? For you to be able to say, oh, during the week on Wednesday, I'm not, one second, I'm having meetings most of the days. I can afford to take my car to the mechanic. Not that you are not working, but you are working smart. We work smart now, not work hard. People wants to work smart. That is why you see people doing 2 jobs, doing 3 jobs, but they are still working, they don't exceed the 5 p.m. that they're supposed to finish, right? So they are working smart, and that is what people want. And you get highly paid as well. In IT, they review the salary every year. As far as I know, anywhere you work, as in on a yearly basis, they increase the salary. That is why you see people, moving and rushing to IT because, it gives them that work balance, family work balance. It gives them that flexibility that they cannot get in other industry. Take, for example, a nurse or a doctor. There's no way you can do it. Even if they are paying you millions, you still need to physically go into work and do your shift, whether it's a 12-hour shift or a 10-hour shift, right? So even the money that they are paying you, you are well paid as a doctor or as a nurse, but you don't even have you know, you can't even spend that money because you are too tired during your off days. You are just at home sleeping. And that is when family members will come. Oh, there's an emergency. We need money. So family members will be the ones spending your money for you, and you are working hard for this money. That is not good enough. Right. So that is the advantage, or some of the advantage that you can leverage on transitioning to tech. And it doesn't matter what you've been doing for the last 10 years. It doesn't matter what you studied in school. No, it does not matter. For people who cares to know about my own story, I've done a whole lot of, I would say, all jobs that you can ever think about. So it doesn't matter what you study, even if you study language in school. As I said, what matters on the journey is your determination, your commitment, your hunger for change. If you can have those, the sky is just the beginning for you. If you can have those. All right. Don't let me waste too much of your time. Let me dive into my slides. So why software testing? I'm going to be using UK as a point of reference because that is where we are. If you are looking for a permanent role in the UK, you'll be looking around, as a software tester, around 45,000 and above. If you're looking for a contract role, you'll be looking at around 350, 400 pounds. I could remember back then when I first broke, after my 3 months training, right? I secured my very first role 2 weeks after I finished my practical training, right? It wasn't that easy, but it might sound easy, but it wasn't. My first salary, and remember, I only, the training was only for 3 months, right? My first salary as a software automation engineer was 55,000. My very first salary, So that is why I know that it is doable, it is possible, and you can achieve it. 65, we have some of our students that the total package as a software tester as well, the total package after all benefits is around 82, 83,000 pounds. And also, this is the catch why companies like in US, in Canada, might want to recruit from someone from Africa or Asia, is because, like now, if you are considering a contract role, you're looking around 350, 400, 500 pounds a day. They say to themselves, for them to spend 500 pounds a day, they can actually go elsewhere to another continent and they can get it for cheap. Instead of paying 500 pounds or $500, they can pay 150 pounds or $150 per day. Meanwhile, that is per day. If you convert that 150 per day in, let's say, Nigerian currency, that is over 200,000 naira, maybe like 250,000 naira per day. So that is a win-win. The companies are saving cost, and you have no cause to complain as well, because you getting 250,000 naira per day, that is someone else's salary in a year. So it's a win-win. But before you can get to this stage of competing or getting such roles, you need to know your onions. And that is why we've put together this package that I'm going to be talking about in a bit as well. That our package is so good to the extent that I can beat my chest to that you can never find it elsewhere in any training organization. What we've put together to ensure that our students at least, get something at the end of the training. Because when you're talking about testing, there are different testing. You have manual testing, performance testing, automation testing, API testing, and those are individual. You can apply. There are companies looking for those roles as well. But we get there in a short while. All right. So another advantage is visa sponsorship as well. It falls under the shortage skilled worker in the UK as well, meaning you can be in your home country. You apply for that role, they like you, you got shortlisted, you went through the process, and at the end of the day, they can apply for visa for you from your home country because they want your skill, they want your expertise, and they want you to come over. Right. All right, let's move on. I made mention of this earlier on. You can work remotely from anywhere. That is the joy, that is the joy of all these, this bust how do I put it now, about tech, ability for you to be able to work from any part of the world. I have a nephew that just returned from Nigeria. He's doing two jobs as a software automation tester in the UK. He traveled first week of December. He's been in Nigeria since first week of December. He came back last week. If my calculation is right, that is almost 2 months. It wasn't on holiday, but he was able to work remotely, even from Nigeria. And he works for a company in the UK, to the extent that, he had rented what's it called? Is it one bedroom flat for himself for the whole year in Nigeria, because he can travel between the two countries and that will not affect his job. That is some of the advantage as well. It's in high demand. People are doing two jobs. So there is this opportunity out there, that you can tap into, that you can grab, but only if you have what it takes, only if you have what it's required for you to tap into that. And that is your skills, the knowledge, your know-how on the job. That is why we focus on the important things, that you need to know. This process or this journey is for 4 months. We focus on what you need to know in that 4 months so that at the end of that 4 months, you'll be able to compete. All right, let's move on. So what's the training roadmap if you are to enroll on our journey? How is the training or how is the program going to look like? So firstly, the practical training is for 4 months. That is why I said earlier on, I can beat my chest to it. There is nowhere out there, that you can get the type of package that we've put together, Most people will tell you, come and get trained in 2 weeks, in 1 month, and it's over, you know. But we don't do that. We want to ensure that you acquire the necessary knowledge, before before you start applying for jobs. That is why only the practical training is 4 months, right? There's a saying that what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. So what is the essence of not starting it if we can't get it right? That is why we put everything in place to ensure that, we make it as smooth as possible for you. The support, the platform, everything is there for you as well. So the training, as I said, is for 4 months. After the training, then comes the project. So you'll be involved on a 2-month project as well. But the 2-month project will still come within your 4 months of practical training. So that means before you finish the 4 months of practical training, you'll be put on a live project where you'll be working as part of a full Scrum team. When I say full Scrum team, there will be the likes of developer in your team, there will be a Scrum Master, there will be a product owner, there will be a business analyst, and there will be yourself as a tester. You'll be working in an agile environment, and all of you guys are working together to deliver a solution for a client. That is the structure that we've put in place for you. There is no how you can go through that process from beginning to end that you won't be able to secure something at the end of the day. But mind you, the journey, it's not only dependent on Learn with Pride. It's a 50-50 kind of partnership. How do I mean? We do our own 50%, which is providing you with a platform, equipping you with the right skills, with the right knowledge, exposing you to different things, mentorship, support, and all other things that we should do for you. But on the other end as well, you need to go above and beyond what has been covered in class. You need to get your hands dirty, on this process. The journey has to be an everyday journey for you. You need to commit or sacrifice at least 2 hours of your time every day for the duration of the program. And that is when and only when you'll be able to compete at the end of the program. There is no shortcut. What you see is what you get. Your input is going to be equals to your output at the end of the day. What I'm trying to say in the nutshell is you cannot depend on only the classroom lectures and say, okay, let's say 2 days a week, at Wednesday and Thursday. After Thursday, you wait again till the next Wednesday before you do something on software testing. It will never work. You need to commit your time, your sweat, your energy into the process every single day for the duration of the program. It's a sacrifice. You need to sacrifice something to get something. If it's your sleep, you need to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your sleep for you to get to where you want to be. If it's your Netflix, you need to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice something for you to achieve what you want to achieve. If it's going out that you have to sacrifice, but there's an objective that has to be met at the end of the day. You have a goal. As long as that your goal is met, then you can go back to your daily routine. You can go back to playing games every day, Netflix every day, because you've already achieved what you wanted to achieve. So we need to commit our time, energy, everything to the process. So the project will be another 2 months. You working on a live project. And when I say a live project, it's not a capstone project. If it's a capstone project, you won't have all these settings of developer, scrum master, project manager, product owner, everybody working together. There is a real client as well that you are working for. For those that will take the process serious, they always, get something at the end of the day. For those who take it serious. All right. So after the project, now comes the next stage, optimization of your brand. You've gone through the training, you've gone through the project. The next important stage is you optimizing your brand. If your brand is not well optimized, nobody will see you. No recruiter will see you. No company will call you, and you'll be wondering what is happening. So you have to be seen out there. If you are applying for international roles, your CV needs to be revamped to international standards. Also, LinkedIn, you have to be on that space as well, because LinkedIn has become one of the most popular platform that employers, recruiters now go to add on. So you need to be in that space as well. When you get this stage right, then stage 1 and stage 2, you see the essence of that. That is the training side and the practical side, the project side, because you'll be seen, you'll be called. Oh, we saw your CV on so platform. Are you still in the market? Are you still looking for a job? Oh, we came across your profile on LinkedIn. Are you available for a quick chat? That is the kind of things you want to be getting, because if you are getting those kind of calls, you can be guaranteed that interview is around the corner. And as you are getting those calls as well, you yourself, you are applying for jobs on a daily, manually on a daily basis as well. But aside those that you're applying for on a daily basis, recruiters should be able to see you online. They should be able to see your CV. They should be able to see your profile and call you without you even applying for that role. That is where you want to be. If that is happening, you are getting calls, because during my own time, that was what happened. I was getting a lot of calls. Interviews, different interviews were being scheduled. Maybe every single day I do have interviews until I landed that particular one. No's will come your way. We can't deal with no's. We can't deal with the rejection, as in we can't do without it. But the rejection will be your stepping stone to success. You learn from every rejection at the interview. Every rejection you get at the interview, you learn from there. So after applying for jobs, then I said, if you start getting calls, that means the interview is knocking at the door. You start getting interviews. They'll start putting you forward to hiring manager and all of that. And this is another important stage that we support with as well, which is interview preparation. Before you go for that interview, we do a prep with you to ensure that you are ready and set for that interview. While on this point, let me quickly make mention of other benefits if you are to enroll on the course as well. Number 1, you get the practical training. Number 2, you get to work on a live project. Number 3, you get the mentorship. Number 4, you get the support. Number 5, you get interview preparation. Number 6, all our courses are CPD accredited, meaning they meet the professional standard. And the certificate that you get at the end of the program is recognized in over 60 countries. UK, Nigeria, Canada, over 60 countries. So you can go on Google and search for a company called, just type on Google CPD standards. That is the body that regulates it. And finally, we give you a work reference. When you start applying for a job and there's time for you to give reference, we give a reference for the duration you are with us. So that means you can use us on your CV when you start applying for a job. Those are the benefits that comes with the enrollment. Right. All right. Let's go on. Yes. So this is the start of the company. So from 2020 till date, as I said, made mention earlier on, over 20,000 students has enrolled on this journey. This is the start for last year, enrollment rate for last year, for half of last year, rather, it's not even the full, just to show the numbers of students that enrolled on each of our courses. And finally, 85% of our students are currently working, 50 in the public sector, 35 in private sector, and 15% are job ready. Again, why on this point? What we are trying to create here is a community. So it is more than a training that you're going to get from us. It is more than a project that you're going to get from us. It's like a boxing match or a boxer inside the ring. There's always people on his corner, whether it's referee, his team, but he has people, at his corner. Same thing goes on here. If you are to secure a job, let's say tomorrow, you are stuck on that job. You try to reach out to your facilitator, but unfortunately, your facilitator too has got his own 9 to 5. He's busy. He couldn't respond to you. Where do you go from there? You have nowhere to go, right? Which is not good enough. But when there's a community, you don't have to depend on just one person. You can leverage on the community and ask whatever question you want to ask. And that is what we have as well. So aside your training days, twice a month as well, we hold a session on career motivation. On that session, various things happen. Learning of new tools, bringing ex-students who have secured a job to come and share their testimony, you talking about your experience applying for jobs, the rejection you are getting, or are you getting calls at all? We look at different things that will benefit you. And on that community, there are, loads of people there as well that are working. Because this is not a one-man show. This is not like, oh, yes, you paid for the training yourself and the training is for yourself, but you want to leverage on everyone's knowledge in your team or on the training. Let's say in the class of 15, you notice that on particular topic, Richard seems to know it more. Become best friend with Richard. You can chat Richard up after the class. Oh, it seems you know this thing better. Can we schedule like a 15-minute call whenever you're less busy? You want to form a connection with people so that you can have someone to call on when you are stuck or when you have, you just want to rub mind with someone. That is the kind of environment we are creating in Learn with Pride. Right. So it goes beyond the training, way, way beyond the training, what you are going to get, the value you are going to get for your money. All right, let's move on quickly. So these are just the sample jobs that go online, 100% remote, paying 300 to 325 per day. If you're earning 300 pounds a day in the UK, that is like 6,000 pounds a month. Even if the contract is for 1 year or 6 months, that is still a lot of money, The next one is a permanent role paying roughly 50,000 per annum as well before benefits. All right. So we have, just to be able to accommodate everyone, we have 3 different packages that you can choose from if you want to enroll. And on each one of them, there's currently 50% discount on each one of them. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right. So there's currently 50% discount on each one of them, whichever you want to go for. There's 50% discount on them. The first package is called the starter package, right? The starter package, the actual price for the starter package is $499, but because of the 50% discount, is now $199. But this one is you are only enrolling for the practical training, for the 4-month practical training. There's nothing like projects involved. That means you are not interested in project. You just want to acquire the practical knowledge. And when I say practical knowledge, it's practical. Everything is practical. You just want to, get the practical knowledge and move on. But with the training, with only the training as well, you still get the CPD certificate. You still get the reference. No, you're not getting the reference because you didn't do it. It's only those that is those enrolling on projects, going for project packet, that will get the reference. But you still get the CV review. You still get the CPD certificate as well. Then after the starter comes the intermediate. The intermediate, the actual cost is $9.99, but because of the discount as well, it's $4.99. So for this one, you get the full training, both the practical training and the projects. You get the mentorship, you get the support, you get the work reference, you get CV review. But if you want to do your CV with partner, that will be on the advanced level. But for the intermediate, you still get your CV review looked at to tell you, oh, this is good enough, this is not good enough, adjust this, adjust that, right? So that is $4.99 at the moment. And the last one is the advanced. For the advanced, you get everything. You get the CV, LinkedIn, cover letter, Upwork account creation, Linktree account creation. You get all those things done for you. You get the mentorship. You get everything, basically. So for intermediate and advanced, you can actually pay twice, even after the discount. You can start with half payments, and the other half can be paid within 4 to 6 weeks. This is why I said there is nowhere out there that you can get the package that we are offering at the price that we are offering them. I can beat my chest to that with the quality of what you are going to get. And as I said, it's even more than 4 months because you are with us till you get job. It's not like we say after 4 months, we say bye-bye to you. No. Remember, we are creating a community. That is what we are trying to create. All right, let me move on. All right, so these are just the bank details. You can take a screenshot if you want to, both the Nigerian one and the UK one. For those who are not in Nigeria or UK, you can just message the number, the WhatsApp number on your screen if you are interested in enrolling. A payment link will be generated and you can make a payment through that. So for any enrollment details, if you want to enroll, we have 10 slots for the cohorts. The next cohort will be starting on the 28th. Let me check. I think I'm right. Yeah, the next cohort will be starting on the 28th of February. So we have 10 cohorts for that. For anyone who is interested in joining the cohort starting on the 28th of February, the WhatsApp number on your screen is the best number to contact. So you can take a screenshot, you can save it on your mobile, but that will be the best number, to contact me on if you want to enroll. Make A when the sun shines. They say, opportunity only comes but once. Invest. It is very good when we invest in ourselves. Whatever you invest in yourself, you can never regret it. That is a fact. All right, so that is that about the training. For those who are in Nigeria, we are having a physical tech conference happening on the 6th of April. For those in Lagos, especially, this is an opportunity for you to come and tap into the knowledge of the people we are bringing on board to shed more light into all this tech transitioning and any other questions. Loads of questions will be dealt with on that day as well. For those who are interested as well, you can go on our website at www.learnwithpride.co.uk to register. And yeah, I'm going to be posting there for now, saying thank you. And, I'll be back soon anyway. But for now, I'm going to be inviting the facilitator that will take you on the journey to shed more light into the life of a software tester. I forgot to mention something. For you to know that this is a value for money. This is a very important point that I actually forgot. So the software testing, you'll be exposed to 5 different testing during these 4 months. You'll be trained on manual testing. You'll be trained on performance testing. You'll be trained on API testing. You'll be trained on, have I mentioned mobile testing? And you'll be trained on automation testing. So 5 different testing that you'll be trained on. The advantage of that is there is no way you can have this knowledge that you won't be able to secure one out of these 5, either as a manual tester or as an API tester or as an automation tester. There is no way. So this is really packed. It's very intense, but you get quality value for the money that you are paying for it. All right, so that is the point I forgot to mention. So it covers the different testing that you can think about: manual testing, performance testing, API testing, automation testing, mobile testing. Right. All right, for now I'm going to be pausing, and I'm going to be inviting Samuel to take it from here and shed more light into this journey. Thanks. See you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Akin. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. 1 minute. All right. So now I'm the facilitator that will be taking you on the journey in software quality assurance engineering. So we will be learning both manual, automation testing, mobile testing, performance testing, including API testing, right? So for some companies, you can specialize as a QA engineer generally, or you can also specialize in any of these separate testing field had mentioned. You can specialize in mobile testing. You can as well specialize in API testing. You can as well specialize in performance, right? But then the good thing about this training is that you'll be learning all of these types of testing all in one. This is what you'll be getting at the end of the training. This is a brief introduction about me. I'm a software quality assurance engineer. Have been testing for over 6 years now, but generally I have over 15 years of experience in tech, and currently working with MTN Nigeria and Neotech, a company based in UK, right? A company based in the UK. And of course, let me take you through my LinkedIn profile, if in case you want to check me out on LinkedIn. 1 minute, please. Right, so this is my profile on LinkedIn. So you can just check me out, Samuel Ubo. And I'm a top voice in one of the top voices in software testing. Not everyone has this badge. So this is a badge given to me by LinkedIn, having recognized my contribution in software testing over the years, right? So what does a software tester really do? If you enroll with us and you get trained, and at the end of the training, you become a software tester, what is really your job in the company? Should you get employed in a company as a software tester? So a software tester performs software quality testing. It's basically testing application. So once application is developed, companies don't just deploy that application to end users. Before this application is deployed to environments where end users can actually have access to this application, it must first of all be tested by a specialist called QA engineer. He has to run tests on the application. It's basically one of those things you've been doing even without being paid for. See if the application is working as expected. For mobile app, maybe banking mobile app, testing would be you confirming if a user can successfully transfer funds from one account to another, if a user can successfully purchase or pay for utility bills, depending on those things that the application are built to do, those criteria that are there in the application as well. So that's what you'll be doing as a tester. And you don't need a technical background in this, irrespective of the field you are currently in. You can still learn this and still become a professional in software testing. It does not matter if you are an accountant, if you are a medical doctor, whatever you are, this particular field of tech is for everyone. This does not involve tedious coding. It's something that you have been doing. As far as you have been using mobile application on your phone, you've been using web application, then it's basically you running tests to check if those applications are working just as expected. Right. So next up is, why do companies need software testers? One, the security as well. So just like the banking app I mentioned, before this app are being deployed to Play Store, before they are being deployed to environments user can download for iOS user before it's being sent to Apple Store, right? Then a tester must have tested, check that this application is free of security vulnerabilities, is free of risk, right? Then the user's data are secured and the intruders cannot gain access to the system. So there are measures in testing this, the application and tools in testing this. These tools are just open source. They are free software that once you enroll, we will show you how to use this application and run a simple security test just to tell the company or the stakeholders to know if the application is secure or not. Imagine a banking application that is not secure, where an intruder can just type in anything in the username, in the password section and the username, and is able to log into the app. It means that the customer's money will just be disappearing, and then they can't tell where it is going to. So no companies want to find themselves in this kind of situation. That's why they employed professionals to check the application and tell them if the application is properly secure or not. Another reason companies need software testers are just to save money. Testers help companies save money because if there are defects that were not detected during production and or probably during development, and these defects or bugs find their way to the production environment, the actual business environment, then company may lose money. Just like the one I've just mentioned, the security flaws, right? So if you just wake up now, you open your bank app, you notice you cannot find the money that was there. Maybe an intruder somewhere has hacked into the banking system, the banking backend software, and is able to clear all your money. You will not take that lightly. And of course, the bank will be paying for such damage. So no company wants to put themselves in such situation. So they must make sure that everything is properly secure, that everything is working as expected before deployment is made. So a person that will be telling the company if this thing is secure or not is a software tester. So another way why they save money is also take, for instance, the Boeing plane crash that happened, right? We recorded one in Ethiopia and another one there, about three of the Boeing crash that happened, right? So this was Boeing company losing money because after those plane crashes, those particular brand of plane were grounded, and as such, passengers began to boycott that particular aircraft, and including the airlines themselves. They also grounded the plane, and as such, Boeing lost a huge sum of amounts. And they were also fined as well by the US government after an investigation was done to discover that the crashes were caused by a software defect. The plane was developed, and once the plane was manufactured, there were some physical bugs, some physical defect found on that plane. So they thought to use software to correct those defects. At the point the plane was going on air, so once the sensor outside detects that the nose of the plane is about to stall, then the sensor automatically activates the computer system that was controlling the system. At that point, the pilot has no control over the plane. So this sensor there were faulty, and it was just one sensor, what is highly prohibited in computing, known as single point of failure. So pilot could not have control. So that was the main causes of those plane crashes, and they were fined huge sum of amounts of money. And that is Boeing. And no company wants to find themselves in that situation, including brand reputation as well. Boeing also lost that brand reputation as well. So these are things companies try to prevent just by bringing in software testers to help them. Another is to boost customer contentment as well. So if the software is not giving users a good user experience, at the end of the day, users may just leave that particular application and move to the next application. Take, for instance, banking application. We have a lot of options now, especially those all over the world, there are a lot of options. We now have fintech companies, all these microfinance bank coming up to be very good, that some that you can even make transfer and the recipients get credited instantly. That some commercial bank that you use, you make transfer and it takes ages for the recipient to even get that money credited. At some point, the transaction failed, your money is not reversed, and the recipient does not even get this. So these are things companies try to prevent, because once you look at Google Play Store, you find over 2 billion applications there. Same with iOS Store, right? So if your application is not working as expected, then customer have options. Your competitors are there. They'll simply uninstall your application, then move on to your competitor zone if that is working perfectly fine for them. So these are things companies try to avoid. That's why software testers are in high demand. Another is the product quality as well. The software quality assurance engineer helps maintain high quality products that are being shipped into the market. So these are reasons why software testing is very crucial in today's world. What does a software tester do? I've already talked about it. So these are various aspects of software testing that we will be learning. We'll be taking you through black box testing, gray box, and white box. The black box is where you don't get to see the internal working of the system, the internal working of the software, but you get to learn how it functions, how you interact with this application, talking about the functional part and the non-functional parts. We will also teach you how to conduct regression testing, progression testing, smoke testing, sanity, cross-browser testing, and experience-based testing, right? Then the other part of that functional would be the security testing. How can you test the security part of the application as well? The installation, resilience, reliability, usability, compliance, and localization. Once you enroll with us, you get to learn this in detail and be able to do these things practically yourself. Then the other aspect will be the performance of the system. How well is the system performing? Can the endpoints accommodate or handle more users? Take, for instance, Facebook. Facebook recently announced that they have over 2 billion active users daily. So if the system does not have the capacity to handle 2 billion users, then the service itself may have to go out of service. So these are things companies try to prevent. So they bring in software quality assurance engineers to help test the system even before deployment, simulate this user's load. Tell them if the application before they deploy will be able to handle 200 users concurrently. Or if we say 100 people are trying to access the application, use the application at the same time, the infrastructure behind this application, the infrastructure behind this system, can it handle this amount of users that are trying to access the system? These are things a software engineer or a software quality assurance engineer try to test and also tell the company to know before they deploy the application. The other part will be the white box testing, getting to check the developer's code and see if they are following best practices that are adhering to industry standards. So these are things we will show you in the training on how to go about doing this. Then how to become a software tester is quite simple. Once you enroll with us, you get to learn all of these things I've mentioned and more. Where we have been in the business for over 4 years. So it's things we have been doing. I myself has been testing for the past 6 years. I'm very conversant with conducting manual testing, both web and application, mobile application testing, including the API testing that has to do with the back end and database testing as well, where data are stored. I'm very comfortable with API testing. And over the years, we have produced over 20,000 students, and majority of those numbers are well employed and doing well for themselves. So once you enroll with us, you get to learn this and become a professional in software testing. Benefits of becoming a software tester is the job security that you have, and also the high demand of this profession as well, right? So of course, you agree with me that software development, becoming a software developer, that particular section of tech is already saturated, right? So the aspect that has not, people have not really known about is this software testing. A lot of people don't even know that there's a part of tech that is called software testing, that you can actually test application just by testing the application to see if user can log in successfully. let's say a bank has developed an application, you as a tester will be to confirm if the application developed, users can actually log into this application. After logging in, can they also use the features in the application, like fund transfer, like utility bills payments, purchasing of airtime, and buying data? These are basic things that you've been even doing yourself, even without getting paid. So we say, just come learn these skills, learn these techniques, and start making huge amount of money for yourself. I have not traveled from Nigeria before, but for the past 6 years, I have been earning in that currency, right? So this has only been possible just because of software testing. You don't even need to leave the shores of your country. Once you have these skills, you can be gainfully employed and also be earning in dollars. The good part of this thing called tech is that it allows you to work with people from different culture, from different part of the world. I work in team in the UK, comprised of the Indians, people from Kenya, people from the America, a lot of people from different part of the world. So these are the fun parts I get to enjoy about my job, right? So once you enroll with us, you get to learn a lot about tech, not just tech generally. With my vast knowledge in technology, you get a lot, you have a lot to benefit from this class. Thank you so much. And I look forward to having you join this session, probably ending of the month, or maybe in the next 2 weeks that we're going to kickstart the next batch. Thank you, Akim.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. Please, if you have any question, this is the time you can start raising your hand, and I'll be calling you shortly. So if you have any question, please kindly raise your hand, or you can type your questions in the chat, and I'll be calling you shortly. I just want to go, just in case anyone joined late. To start with, this video will be made available on our YouTube channel by tomorrow. So if you want to rewatch it, you can get it on our YouTube channel. Just search for Learn with Pride on YouTube and you shall see it. Or if you are on the platform, if you are on the WhatsApp group, it will be posted on the WhatsApp group as well. All right, the first question, how many days a week are classes and what days are what time? All right, so the classes run twice a week, every Wednesdays and Thursdays, from 7:30 p.m. UK time to 9:30 p.m. UK time. So it runs twice a week for 4 months. But as I said earlier on, your learning should not and cannot be restricted to just those 2 days. We leave those other days so that you can have enough time, to go over the recordings, to research on your own, so that before the next class, you are well up to date with whatever has been covered. So it's 2 days a week, Wednesdays and Thursdays, from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. That's to Caviar. All right. So the next, as I said, the next course will be starting end of this month, 28th of February. It will be starting. We have 10 slots available for those for that course that will be starting on the 28th. And we have different packages as well, just to be able to accommodate everyone. So if you just want to go for the practical training, only the training, you can get that after discount at £199 after discount, just the training. If you want to go for the training, the project, and some other benefits like what's it called? Mentorship, support, interview preparation, and all of that, you can still go for the intermediate. You can get that for $499 after discount. Again, you can start with half payments and the other half can be paid within 6 to 8 weeks. Then the advance will just give you everything. The addition of the advances, it will give you CV, LinkedIn cover letter, LinkedIn account creation, and Upwork account setup. Those are the things that the advance will give you, and you can get that for $599 after this scan. Again, you can start with half payment, and the other half can be paid within 6 to 8 weeks. From Uchenna, from your table earlier, the intermediate does not come with, it comes with CPD. Even the training, only the training comes with CPD certificate. So the CPD certificate has nothing to do with the project. So even if you are going for just the starter, right, you still get the CPD certificate as part of it. So all the packages, you have to get the certificate, because that is to ensure, that is telling you that you've gone through the training, and that is the reward. So once you are enrolled on the training, at the end of that program, at the end of the 4 months, you get the certificate. Whichever the category you go for, you still get the CPD certificate. The mentorship, so for the starter, so intermediate and advanced, the only difference between intermediate and advanced is the CV, cover letter, LinkedIn, Upwork, and Linktree. Those are the only 5 difference between intermediate and advanced. But every other thing you get on intermediate and advanced. For starter, you get the training, but you still get to belong to part of the community, right? Just that you are not doing the project, but you still get to belong to the community, where you can, you still attend our sessions and all of that. You get the certificate for starter as well. And the only thing not included in that one is mentorship, because mentorship is actually done on the project. When you work on the project, that is when mentorship actually takes place, from your table. No, so the intermediate has gone, yes, this is from Uchenna, yes. So the intermediate has got everything. It's got the mentorship, it's got the certificate. So yeah, it's not ticked on the screen right now, but I can assure you it's got, that's just that's an omission. So intermediate has got mentorship as well, because you'll be working on a project. So you have to be mentored as well. And you get CPD certificate as well. That is guaranteed. So imagine, so that's omission. If starter can get certificate, why won't intermediate get certificate? So that's just an omission. You can take my word for that. All right, the intermediate training seems not to have a certificate. It is, don't mind that. That is just an omission. It has a certificate attached. So for the intermediate, let me tell you what you will get now. Right, so you get the practical training. This is the intermediate I'm telling you now. Right, forget about what you're seeing on the screen now. So for the intermediate, you get the practical training. You get to work on a project. You get the mentorship, you get the support, you get interview preparation, CPD accredited certificates, and you get reference for working, because you'll be working on a project. So you get reference at the end of the program as well. So those are the benefits attached to intermediate. So for advanced, everything I've mentioned now, plus CV, cover letter, LinkedIn, Linktree creation, and Upwork creation. So those are the 5 things that is different between 2 of them. I hope I've been able to. Uchenna, what about the ISTQB exam? Will I get guidelines on how to write the exam? If you want to write, yes, I'm sure my Samuel will be more than willing to give you the guideline. But mind you, this training focus on a day in the life of a software tester. If you are to get a job tomorrow, how you are going to survive on that job, that is what the training focus on. Because your practical knowledge is what recruiters are looking for to land that role. Before I transition, I thought, having different certification will give me an edge. I've got different certification, professional certification you can think about, but none of them opened doors for me until I acquired the right skills and knowledge. And up until the moment I stopped working 9 to 5, no one has ever asked me to tender that certificate. And trust me, I've worked with different companies, different organizations, from banking to consultancy to health to education to health. I've worked in different sectors. So the training you are enrolling for are practical training. If you are to say, okay, Uchenna, you've been employed as a manual tester, start work tomorrow. How are you going to survive on that work that they ask you to start tomorrow? That is what we concentrate on. How you survive on the job as a software tester, whether as a manual tester, automation, performance, API, mobile. That is what we focus on. All right. I would like to hear from you though, as if you can raise your hand and I'll ask you to unmute so that you can ask. If I'm able to answer that question, you can let me know. So if you have any more question, please, you can. All right, so that is clear, Uchenna. All right, cool. That is perfect then. If you have any other question, please, you can drop it on the chat or you can raise your hand. Again, if you want to enroll, the number on your screen right now, you can write it down, please. That will be the best number to contact on. As I said, we only have 10 slots, so take advantage of the discount going on at the moment. And I trust me, as I said earlier on, you cannot get any better bargain anywhere. And your interest, we are after your interest, because if you are able to land a job at the end of the day, that is our joy. It is not just for you to pass through the training. No, because we understand, or we know that when you get a job, someone will ask you somewhere, how did you do it? And you can refer Learn with Pride to us. That is our joy. That is where we want you to be. 28th of Uchenna, 28th of February. That is when the next cohort is starting. 28th of February, in 2 weeks' time. That is when the next cohort is starting, Uchenna. All right. Any other question from anyone else? Again, for our people in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, please, this tech event, we have a very, very, very positive impact, in your decision, in your life, It's starting, it's taking place on the 6th of April. Go on our website, www.learnwithpride.co.uk, and register. I tell you, you won't regret coming on that day as well. You would not regret coming. All right, so let me take this question. So it's basically on an online practical training. Yes, it's online, because you know why it's online, or why things are moving online now. Because if I should ask you, Chukwuka Justice, if you can unmute and ask you, would you like, after this training, what sort of role do you want to start applying for? Is it a remote job or physical job that you have to go into work? I'm sure you tell me remote job, because there's no how you can be, let's say in Nigeria, I want to go and work physically for a company in the UK or Canada. It has to be remote. Or you live in UK and you want to go to Australia, and start the permanent role there, it has to be remote. So that is the culture we want our students to be used to. Even when we put you on a live project, your developer might be in Nigeria, your Scrum Master might be in India, your product owner might be in Australia. You are working with a diverse team. And that is what you get as well when you start getting paid for it. That is the culture we are trying to, for our students to get used to at the very beginning, at the very early stage. So yes, it will be a live session, not a pre-recorded session. It will be a live sessions online at the comfort of your home. I hope I've been able to answer that question as well. That goes to Justice. I hope I've been able to answer that. All right. Any other question from anyone before we call it a day, a night, and maybe see you on the journey? Any final question from anyone, please? You can type it, you can raise your hand, or if you decide you want to ask me personally, you can send me a WhatsApp message as well. I'll respond to every question sent to me as well. So any final questions from anyone before we call it a night? All right, no final question. All right, so the recorded version, the recorded session will be posted on the WhatsApp group, and it will be available on our YouTube channel at Learn with Pride on YouTube. So if you want to listen to it, or if you want to send it to someone, you can get it there by tomorrow, this time tomorrow. So, okay, from Kavya, if somebody can't do the classes on Wednesday or Thursday, are there any other days? All right, so for this particular, so there are fixed days for all our trainings. Remember, it's not only software testing that we run. We run different other trainings as well, and all of them have got their own fixed days. But what we do is, because we know sometimes people might not be able to attend, maybe due to work or any other thing. So every session is recorded. And also, when you enroll, we onboard you on our LMS platform, whereby you can log into your dashboard at any time, and watch the recordings. So that is what we do. Every session is recorded, but the days are fixed. That is to Kavya. All right, Justice, you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Justice.
So I just have, thank you for the expose. At least we've been able to get some helpful ideas on what is software testing and what one tends to gain at the end of the training. And now the little question I have is in terms of the Naira equivalent of the cost, do you have a benchmark, or is it because since you've also made it that those who are in Nigeria can pay through a bank, do you have
Yeah, they can. All right, so let's go back. Let me quickly say that now. So for the starter package, right? For just the training itself, for £199, you can, the Naira equivalent for that, this is not using any conversion rate at all. It's just a fixed one. It's 250,000 Naira for that, for the starter. For the intermediate, it's 450,000 Naira after discount. You can pay twice as well. And for the advanced, it's 600,000. I hope I've been able to answer that. So it's 250,000, 450,000, and 600,000 in Naira. For any other information you want, you can message me on the WhatsApp number. That's to Justice. You can message me, or anyone else that needs clarity to anything. You can message me. So once again, any final question? Anybody wants to raise hand before we go, or type a question before we say goodbye? No. All right. Thanks everyone for your time, for taking your time to join today's session. Hopefully we'll see some of you on the journey, and you can as well message me if you are interested or have any question. Till we'll see you on the journey. Thanks for your time. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.